All right,
So,
broadcast looks good there. We're up on Twitch. And let me see if I can find us on Facebook.
All right, streaming on my Twitch.
cool.
And you got the notification we're live on Facebook.
Yep, I see us there.
And I'm waiting for your Twitch one to come on in. There you are. All right, you're good on Twitch.
Let me get things rearranged over here so that I can monitor YouTube or Facebook.
So we're good to go. Cool.
Yep, we're good to
We're
go.
live. We're live.
We are live.
So like I was saying, I was thinking about renaming the show Two Guys, One Fish.
I may have on my end put Two Guys, One Show. But Two Guys, One Fish that's good.
That's very good, and that's even more dirty.
Or Two Guys, One Zora. That actually would have been.
No, there have been a couple of guys who want a piece of this.
I'm sorry, I'm not okay. Full disclosure. Breath of the Wild. Oh Christ, what is her name? Mifa. I'd hit that. I'm not even gonna hide that. I'd hit that.
And here's your spaceship. Engage. Pretty cool, huh?
And welcome to the Real SuperGeeks podcast on this, the 5th of February, 2021. 2022. 22.
You're going to be doing that for a little while. Everybody does.
It's the first time I have so far.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
As long as your paychecks say 2022, you're good.
Yeah, and I gotta hydrate, so just a second.
It's not often we get a magical 2D platformer girl being a nerd like the rest of us.
As always, my name is Ross, Live, Love, Play, the eyebrows of Doom himself, and I will be your host this evening as we explore the world of geekiness. Joining me, of course, is my wondrous array of co-hosts. We have Greg. Where can people find you?
People can find me on my screen right there, Twitch TV / Mongoose Gaming 88. If you're watching, you're already here.
And everybody's favorite 8-foot-tall fish woman, it's Sun. How you doing this week? And where can people find you?
Hi. Well, you can find me at twitch.tv/Sunciel. It's been a week. The prediction from November has finally come to pass. We had our ice storm. It only lasted a day and a half, though, so that's good. We're not stuck in it for a week, like, what was it, 2004, 2008-ish? Yeah. But, yeah, no, we had that. But, yeah, no, like, most of the week has been rather good. Did find out, like, pretty hardcore that one of the medications that I had been out of in forever was what was making me sick. So we stopped that medication.
So first it was one of the medication. No, wait, that's the second time you've had a medication that's kept you sick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, now we're just kind of bouncing around with medications till we find something that works.
Yay, guinea pig medication.
I mean, look, I'll be honest. At one point, I was on like 7 different medications twice a day. So like, I'm getting there again.
Well, I'm glad you were able to figure that out at least.
Yes.
All right.
I do want to say though, you might have to ignore the squawky chicken this week. Yeah, the squawky chicken.
Oh wait.
Because I'm hearing wherever the hell this is, and this.
Oh no, that's Isley. My bad.
This fucking chicken won't stop. But I can't help it. I enjoy the place. And if you notice, there's a slight little detail about my character that you may not have noticed before. You know, something subtle. It's just a what are we looking at the Trello?
Very good.
Okay, well, you can full screen me and maybe you'll notice then.
Okay. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, no, you yes.
Oh, you're animated.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Woohoo!
I have a slight little bounce now. So yeah,
Outstanding.
you might be able to see me talk now.
Excellent. Awesome. All right. Well,
There you go.
let's get into our topics for the week. And we got some doozies. We got our two reviews this week. We've got the Act 2 finale, as I'm calling it, for Star Trek Prodigy,
Fair.
and the penultimate episode of the Book of Boba Fett, or perhaps we should say Mando Season 2.5. I don't know. You figure it out. So let's start off with Prodigy. When we left off last week, the crew had returned to meet the Diviner's demands. They turned over the Protostar. Janeway got hacked, and we got our goth dummy mummy, Janeway. And the crew had pulled off an epic con of seeing adrift and helpless. They've begun to rally the crew, the Unwanted, to bring them together on board the Rev 12. We got to see, we got to hear the voice of our favorite Cation Kitten. And we got the dread of the Protostar's return. We got an epic fight with Dreadnought. The Cation Kitty decapitated the machine.
Those claws.
Absolutely epic. Oh, yeah. Kitty's got claws, that's for sure. And, of course, the final confrontation between Gwyn and her father. We get our revelation that the Diviner is a time traveler from some point in the future, where their society, after encountering the Federation, was split in civil war, and they ended up annihilating themselves. And he was sent back in time to prevent that first contact from ever happening by destroying all of Starfleet.
Yep.
When has that ever worked?
It hasn't yet.
But somehow he found out about anyway. But in the final confrontation, Gwyn is able to escape, and Zero finally confronts its oppressor and gives it a full eye blast of its unshielded, unguarded Medusan form.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, Gwyn catches it. Now, for context, when Spock took a look at a Medusan unshielded, he went blind and nearly mad for a little bit. So, just imagine what happened to the Diviner, and unfortunately, Gwyn, when she caught not the full blast, but a reflection. She recovered.
If you remember, Spock saw it for just a split second, but he had that protective visor like most of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Gwen had the unfortunate effect of being Hermione Granger in
Yes.
one of those Harry Potter movies.
Yes, exactly.
And unfortunately, completely lost her memory of the event.
Yeah, short-term memory was gone.
But unfortunately, she lost the knowledge that the Protostar is a Trojan horse, which is supposed to spark the destruction of Starfleet by automatically turning its ships against each other. I guess we'll see what happens, because the crew has resolved to finally go to Starfleet. And we see that the Protostar can be tracked when it goes to Proto-Warp. And it is being tracked by Admiral Janeway and the crew of the USS Dauntless.
Oh,
a
man.
lot to unpack here. Greg, how about you lead us off? What did you think of the episode?
I loved it. I will stick with your calling it Act 2. I was calling it Season Finale Part 2. But overall, it was a great episode. Continued very well from the last one, obviously. I love the backstory we got on the Diviner and Gwen. Justin and I were calling it the whole season. The Diviner, Dreadnought has got to be Chakotay. They wasn't Diviner. They are their own race that first contact screwed them up. And the context and backstory is that the Diviner is a hardcore time traveler, because at first we see him 17 years ago at the Protostar, then he talks about 50 years from first contact, so he's been all over the place. I can appreciate the... I gotta go back to the Cation, just totally swiping off Dreadnought's head. That was awesome. But again, Rock to the rescue, with her getting the Rev 12 up off the ground. So that was also pretty cool, seeing Rock use her knowledge she gained from however long she was alone. I was actually surprised by Zero's quest for revenge like that. Zero struck me as the most, not the most moral, but the most grounded character, that he was able to help with medicine, he was able to help with the warp drive, proto drive, like get everything going. Basically, a hand-me-down data in terms of how useful he was. But then to turn around and just completely expose himself and annihilate the mind of the Diviners, like, I didn't expect that from Zero.
I did.
Well, yeah, we'll hear from Sun on that. But to be that vengeful and, basically say, screw you. And while I can appreciate it, like, that is a great way to say screw you about it. It was certainly intense, and I can appreciate, though, the gravity of the situation. Like, they weren't going to put up with this crap anymore. Gwen catching it through the reflection is very much in line with like everything else, kind of in nerd geek culture. Like you said, Hermione, caught it on the side. Those who you could see Medusa herself in Greek mythology, you could see her through reflection. You wouldn't turn to stone.
That was more of a cheat on the side of Perseus.
That was, but so. I'm glad to see Gwen's going to be okay. Granted, the memory loss was saying we can't go to Starfleet, and that's going to hurt a little bit, because then they're going to Starfleet, and the Dauntless is going to meet them. So they're going to meet up at the next part of this show, whether it be season 1, part 3, or season 2, however they call it. I'm sorry, I squealed and then grunted in disappointment at the end of the episode when I saw Admiral. We've got our 3rd Protostar signature. And then I see the coffee cup. I'm like, there's our girl. There is Admiral. I didn't even hear her call her Admiral. I knew it was Admiral. But she goes, there it is. But then when she goes, Admiral, we're tracking. And then when she goes, 2 is a coincidence, 3 is a pattern. Let's go get our ship. And then she says, I'm coming for you, Chakotay. And I'm like, there she is. Got her coffee cup. Guarantee you it's black coffee. She stands up, gives the order, gets out of there. I'm like, that was great, just being able to squeal like a nerd. Like, there's Admiral Janeway. And this time it's the second canonical reference of Admiral Janeway, since we got one in Nemesis. Now we have one now. I'm happy to see she hasn't retired, much like Picard and Sisko's gone. I mean, Kirk technically retired as a captain.
What
Archer
are you talking
was
about? It's a 3rd canonical Admiral Janeway.
Where was the second one?
The first one was Endgame.
Yeah?
Okay. Changing timeline events doesn't really make it. But she's still in Starfleet, unlike Picard, who retired. It's like, dude. Well,
Picard kind of forced himself out.
Picard stayed in Starfleet until he resigned over the Romulan incident.
Right. But, so...
And at this point, he's still in.
Yeah, true. But seeing our girl in action, so we got the 5 seconds, and of course, as you see on our screen, for those of you who are your introduction to Trek Prodigy, the Dauntless looks like a great streamlined ship ready to go find the Protostar. For us diehard Trek fans, this ship made us groan and know the history of that ship.
Yeah, the Dauntless has a past.
Yeah, it has a past where we want to say, screw that guy.
This is quite the continuity bridge, though.
From
Voyager to Enterprise.
Oh, yeah. Wait, no, Voyager to Prodigy.
No, Voyager to Enterprise.
Why Enterprise?
Okay, so Voyager, we had the original Dauntless. That was the fake ship used to try and capture the Voyager crew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In Enterprise, during the Temporal War that was going on in the background of the J, one of the ships that flew by the window was a Dauntless.
Oh, okay.
That's like saying R2-D2 was in Star Trek 2009. It was just there.
Yeah, those are the kind of things that happen in Star Trek all the fucking
Millennium
time.
Falcon was in First Contact as well.
That's exactly. So.
But this is in canon, though. I mean, and let's be honest. Let's be perfectly honest. Why wouldn't you do that if you're fucking Starfleet? You literally have a ship that can jump faster than any warp-capable ship that you have. Why would you not steal that design and actually fucking make it?
Exactly.
So, and who knows? Because now the Protostar has the proto drive. The Dauntless probably has a working slipstream drive. So we're gonna see which ship is the fastest.
At this point, yeah, no. At this point, the Dauntless is the only ship that can go after the Protostar.
Exactly. So as far as Star Trek shows go, damn it. I give this one a very solid. If this is a season finale, because there's 10 more episodes coming. We just don't know if they're gonna call it season 2 or season 1 part 2 or season 1 part 3.
Well, that's just me differentiating between the 3 parts of the season.
No, that's fair. I just don't know how if they're actually gonna call it season 2 later this year. I really love the series as a Star Trek fan myself, having grown up. I started with TNG, moving on up. Prodigy is going to be the best show to get our younger fans in. Not that, yes, I don't like Lower Decks, but it's not going to be Lower Decks or Disco. And Picard, you have to be hardcore Star Trek to get that show. Prodigy is going to be the perfect bridge to get the younger viewers into Star Trek, because now you're going to have these younger viewers being like, "Who's Janeway?" The first question out of their mouth is going to be, "Who is Janeway?" They're going to go watch Star Trek Voyager. Then they're going to see probably Quark and be like, "Oh, who's Quark?" Go watch DS9 with all the, and then of course the Maquis, like, who are the Maquis? Then you go into TNG, DS9. So it's a perfect bridge to get younger fans in there. So I'm really satisfied with the show. I'll call it the end of season 1. It ended really well. I squealed like a nerd when I saw Admiral Janeway. So that's my take on it. I really loved it, and I'm really, really looking forward to it later this year.
All right, thank you, Greg. Son, what'd you think of the episode?
I think the Diviner is a fucking idiot.
Agreed.
Okay.
Dude, you literally had your daughter and a whole bunch of people, mostly from the Alpha Quadrant, steal the ship that you were fucking after. Yeah, sure, they're going to go on a joyride, but what kind of vessel is it? Starfleet? Once they start doing a little digging, where are they going to want to go? The Federation? You're literally having these kids deliver the weapon for you, and you want the ship back? Why? What kind of idiot are you?
The age-old
kind
villain.
of idiot who wants to deal the coup de grace himself.
Exactly.
He literally has his progeny to do that for him.
And she clearly didn't want to do it.
If he passes before then.
No. She would have unwittingly have done it.
True.
Yes, but the Diviner is a diva. He wants to be there. He wants to see the beginning of the end. He wants to gloat.
No, he's an idiot.
Yes,
I don't know. We're not disagreeing there.
He absolutely is. But he's like Loki in Avengers.
Which
Loki? For my glorious purpose.
In Avengers.
Okay. I literally stopped before Infinity War. So.
Well, no, the first Avengers movie.
First Avengers. That Loki.
That's
Loki
what I meant.
Yeah, I know where Ross is.
Okay, I didn't see that one then.
That if you stopped at Infinity War?
Yeah, I pretty much stopped. I stopped before Infinity War.
Okay,
I don't know
about the very first Avengers movie.
I don't think I watched any of the Avengers movies at all. I thought they were set after Infinity War.
No.
Red alarm. Red alarm.
Okay, well there you go. See, look, then I stopped way fucking early. Like the last movie I remember seeing, like period, was Civil War, I think.
Okay.
Well, Ross is saying that the Diviner is similar to Loki as his glorious purpose, but you'll have to watch Avengers to get that.
Yeah,
This is the Loki that was captured and taken taken in during the Loki TV series.
Okay.
But before he had all the developments and
right. So Zero as Medusan, that was totally expected that this was going to happen. The one thing Zero has always kind of not really just come out and explained, but always kind of slightly mentioned, is the trauma of him being forced to screw with other people's minds because of the Diviner.
True.
Like, that leaves a pretty big fucking scar, even if you are an energy-based life form. That leaves a pretty big fucking mental scar. And, when worse comes to worse, and it's literally I need to put this monster down now, well, the Medusan's going to do the Medusan thing.
And they did. They absolutely did.
Mm-hmm. So the Diviner's basically building a mandala of sorts on whatever the hell planet he's been left on.
Probably still on Tarzalor. Damn it. He's still on the asteroid, I think, is my guess.
Yeah. He's still there.
Oh, okay. I didn't think he was on the asteroid because the whole place was not filled with chimerium and stuff and was like actively volcanic at that point.
They might have left him on the Rev 12.
That too.
Well, I'm not sure because the Rev 12 is a ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leaving him alone on that planet would be a little inhumane. There's
It looked like
no way
they
he
left
could
him.
take care of himself.
It looked like they left him alone on a planet.
They left him alone somewhere. It's just a matter of where precisely. Because they did leave him alone. Like, it's just whether he's on the Rev 12 or it's definitely not the Prodigy.
He's just down there finger painting at this point.
No, there are worse ways to spend your time.
Mm-hmm. My favorite thing was the upgrades to Janeway's hologram. The fact that weirdly, she went from being the Janeway hologram to being the actual fucking Doctor at that point. Because now she could interact with solid matter.
Yep.
It's like, wow, that's one hell of an upgrade, Janeway. You finally become the Doctor from Voyager.
You're finally a real girl.
Look, so yeah, it was kind of a shock when there was the overwriting of her program, but it kind of felt weird that she was still in this weird Federation type uniform.
Or as an evil Janeway.
Yeah, but you still had that Federation feel to the uniform. It's like, I can't remember who it was that mentioned that it looked like the Living Witness uniforms. It's like, no, they don't. No. The Living Witness uniforms look a lot more like Section 31 from DS9 than they do Federation anything. But it was weird. But I was like, okay, cool. So they didn't just have her be a badass and make like her own kind of leather jacket clothing like she was from the Mirror Universe. Okay. Oh, it makes sense. She's protected. Okay. Was anybody else weirded out from the fact that he kept dropping? Like, it's not even like he was inserting these, like actually inserting them. It's like literally that he was dropping these things that look like the isolinear chips on stuff, and they were just melting into the computer.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that.
I caught that. I thought it was just like part of the design of the ship. Like the ship just like open up, like, hey, here's your USB drive. Open up and stick it in there.
Well, dude from the future. Maybe that was the. No, it wouldn't have been.
Maybe they have programmable matter.
Yeah.
Just like the Protostar has a Protostar.
I mean, granted, it's 900 years in the future, but books, ship, and discovery.
Ross caught that fucking joke.
All right. Well, as for me, there, as I usually say, there's a lot to like in this episode. The final confrontations with Dreadnought and the Diviner are very satisfying. Zero going ape shit, beautiful if terrifying. We got resolution to a lot, but not everything, of course. There are still questions to be answered. There is still the imminent threat.
I was actually holding off because I expected you to be gushing over one of the biggest plot points of this episode, Ross. Like how Jenkum literally just said, "You go get it, girl," to Rocktack, fixing the fucking engine.
Yeah, that was great. Rocktack being humble. Understanding his limitations and letting someone else do the job. That we got to see a lot of growth from all of these characters come to not a conclusion, but come to a head with blanking so hard right now. Well, like Jenkum and Rocktack, like Zero, like Captain Dull charging ahead like a damn hero, not being selfish for a change.
See, I've been doing this for the past 3 weeks now. I've been confusing Din from The Mandalorian and Dull from Prodigy because they're both 3-letter names that begin with the letter D.
Now, the thing I'm going to gush about the most is the two miners, the first time they can understand each other. Yeah. They start talking to each other, and they immediately embrace.
Yep.
Two people who have spent so much time together, who seem to know each other, but haven't been able to communicate outside of hand gestures and odd motions here and there. They're finally able to speak and understand each other, and they have this instant connection, and they just go in for a hug, and it was beautiful.
Oh, no.
No. They were in love.
They were lovers. They were quite literally lovers. And then Dahl comes in. It's like, okay, this is nice. We've got to move.
It was a wonderful moment.
It really was.
I mean, like I said last week, they're not 5 minutes away. They'll be back before you can finish anything.
Yeah, and they were. And then, of course, the MVP moment is when the Caitian kitten unsheathed their claws and took Dreadnought's head off.
It makes me wonder how Dr. Ta'ana in Lower Decks does not accidentally slice something in half now. if this little Caitian took off a metal head, it's like, how has Ta'ana not sliced her station in half?
That she probably uses those for scalpels. But also, imagine her scratching post in her quarters.
Yeah. Leia said that they're danger mittens.
Danger mittens. All right. And I think all of us can say our immediate reaction to the Dauntless when it showed up was, the fucking Dauntless?
Those were my exact words to Justin when I finished the episode. I finished and I was like, the fucking Dauntless. Oh, man.
Oh, son, you were about to say something?
Well, I mean, I know you guys have issues with it. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Like,
I don't have issues.
The only ship that could jump to the Delta Quadrant at this point would be something like the Dauntless.
I wouldn't say issues. I thought it fits. The only thing that would have fit better would have been the Aventine.
It just threw me for a loop. It was like, if all ships she would be on, I knew it would be Voyager. I get that. But if all ships she would be on, it would be the Dauntless. It's like, are you serious right now?
And I'll see if I can bring up the photos, but it's more than just the shape of the ship. Apparently, they copied the bridge module as well.
I thought
Voyager did have some detailed scans of it.
The bridge interior is almost the same. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, you got to remember, the bridge was created based on some partial knowledge of Federation bridges.
Okay, it's not there. Crap. Okay, never mind. All right, so any final thoughts on the episode and what we're going to expect when the show comes back at some point in this year? We don't have a set date yet.
Final thoughts. If they don't start off the next part with the Dauntless finding the Protostar, they have to meet up. I don't know how that's gonna play out. Because you're gonna have hologram Janeway meet Admiral Janeway and then be like have an existential crisis at that point because she doesn't fully know who, like, her program is still technically damaged.
Betsy's asking the real question here.
Yes.
One that we are all overlooking.
Chakotay did not make an appearance except for a recording.
Yeah, we still don't know what happened to the original crew of the Protostar.
So my guess is the Protostar and the Dauntless meet up and they somehow manage to recover that database in some fashion.
So here's the other question. Because the Chakotay thing is one question.
Mm-hmm.
We still have a really big question lingering over the whole thing. We know that the Protostar was taken, at least partially, by Dreadnought or whatever the hell forms Dreadnought is able to take initially. That's why all the code was able to be injected and ciphered and shit for the Protostar, I'm assuming. This means Chakotay had to have taken the Protostar back.
Being that the diviner has now in some way confirmed he's at least, I'm calling a 50-year, 60-year gap where he's been time traveling, or at least in a 60-year period, because there was 17 years ago in one episode, and now he's saying 50 years. Show this 50 years after first contact. So he's clearly very much older than I initially thought he was, but it makes you wonder then. Okay, yeah, they obviously took the ship from Chakotay, and then what happened to the crew, and then, like Sun said, did he take it back?
We're also looking at a time travel incident with the Protostar itself.
Yes, yeah. Several times. I'm going to say several time traveling incidents. Return of Captain Braxton. I'm kidding. No.
and I say that simply for the fact that dude seems to have been looking for the Protostar in this one fucking asteroid for years.
Yeah.
When it was there the whole time.
Enough that he literally went out of his way to create a progeny because he thought he was so close.
And about to die.
That, yeah, he wasn't going to live to see it. I'm curious as to what the purpose of the Protostar was. Janeway was reverted back to a training program because in the recording we see she's very much more in line with being a EMH type helpful program. And helping Chakotay in that 5 seconds of the recording we got. So I'm curious what the Protostar's purpose was.
I think it was still a training ship.
I can accept that. Chakotay was a teacher or wanted to be a teacher or something like that. He's old enough. He did go to the academy. But I'm just like, I'm sitting here like, what was the original purpose of this? Because that's an advanced starship that you don't just put a training crew on. This is unless they're Red Squad.
Not unless they're Red Squad.
Red Squad.
It's a tiny Federation ship. I'm still maintaining it's the size of the Normandy SR-1.
It's got to be the size of it's smaller than the Equinox, isn't it? The Nova. It's smaller than the Nova class.
Look, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that this was them basically trying to make another Prometheus, but just with a slipstream, or the jump capability of a Dauntless. Because remember, the Protostar is labeled NX.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not labeled USS, and the Dauntless is labeled USS. So it's in production.
I caught that.
So it's literally in production by the Federation. There's more than one Dauntless at this point.
Or at least one, or at least two, because there was an NX in this one. But so Janeway's probably
ships that go into production are often relabeled USS unless the captain exercises discretion.
No. I mean, that's right. I'm just saying though, the Dauntless Janeway's got to be on the Oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for? She's got to be on the first Dauntless that was officially christened. Like the define went from NX to NCC. This is obviously the NCC now. So
okay, is that all we got to say about Prodigy?
Yeah, for the moment.
More Admiral Janeway.
There's a lot to unpack. There's more to find, and we are going to have to wait to hear about it until sometime later this year, after the rest of Discovery, Picard, Strange New Worlds, and Lower Decks.
So at this point we're kind of divorcing the Prodigy crew from the rest of the Forgotten, if that's what
the Unwanted.
I think that's Unwanted. That's okay. That's what
the Unwanted have taken the Rev 12.
The Rev 12, because that's literally the only thing that can support that many fucking people.
Yeah.
The Protostar wouldn't be able to do it.
No. Although there were a lot of bunks, I think there were too many people to fill all of them. Like several hundred, at least.
The Protostar had been big enough, like the Galaxy class could fit 15,000 people, but only 1,000 were ever on board. So it's probably one of those instances.
Well, you also have to remember, like, Federation ships have a standard crew complement, but they always have room for emergency situations.
Right, like I just said, the Galaxy can fit. It's rated up to 15,000 people. It's like, damn.
Yeah. And that's not including the fact that they keep storing all of the weird people from third world planets in a cargo bay all the time.
All right, let's put a pin in Prodigy for now and move on to our second review of the night, and that is the penultimate episode of the Book of Boba Fett, or the second episode of Mandalorian Season 2.5.
That's not what this was.
It's a joke, son.
No. This one, no. I have my own joke on this, but you probably don't want to hear it.
Oh, no.
Well, let's hear it anyway.
Okay, this was not the Book of Boba Fett, and this was not the Mandalorian.
Okay.
This was the Marvelous Misadventures of Luke and Grogu.
Yeah,
and tell me I'm wrong.
No, I think you got it.
Did you actually watch the episode this week?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing a bit, but no, I'm caught up on everything.
Cool. We can
actually talk about it now.
Ross caught up a couple days ago. Yeah.
Thank God.
But to keep with continuity going forward, I'm going to duck out.
Of course.
I'm kidding.
And bring yourself back in too. Yeah.
So, Book of Boba Fett. Up to this point, it's a mess. It's such a mess.
I just want to say this, Ross. Before Ross gets started on his recap, I just have to say this because now Ross can feel this. Danny fucking Trejo.
Danny Trejo as a Rancor handler.
What else would he be?
Oh, with that whole him being a Rancor handler is flat out him giving the message of pit bulls are not dangerous.
That's actually a very emotionally mature creature.
That was an ASPCA announcement for pit bulls are loving animals. That's exactly what that was.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ross, go ahead.
All right, I've had this bit on my chest since I started watching, so here we go. My name is Boba Fett. 5 years ago, I was left for dead in the pit of the Sarlacc. Now I've escaped, and I crave vengeance. Cue the DC music.
I mean, I thought we were going to do the whole Law and Order dun dun.
No, I was going for an Arrowverse bit.
Okay.
Oh God.
You know, they started. My name is Oliver Queen.
I never watched any of Arrow at all. I only watched The Flash, and I stopped after.
Well, Arrow was the one I was referencing, just because the first 4 episodes were nothing but it was half plot, half backstory.
Mm-hmm.
So after finally getting
that, Ross.
After finally getting caught up on what Boba Fett was doing at both before and after his encounter with the Mandalorian, we get 2 episodes of the Mandalorian catching up with what he was doing after the end of Mandalorian. And have I got to say, I need more Ahsoka and Luke. I need to see their first meeting. I need to hear their conversations about her experience with Anakin so Luke can get an idea of what his dad was like before he became Darth Vader.
So you basically want the first couple of episodes of Ahsoka to have all the fans complaining about the exact same shit that just went on in Boba Fett that they've all been complaining about. Cool.
I think Mark Hamill's going to be in at least 1 or 2 episodes of Ahsoka when it comes out, and that they're going to give us that, Ross, but in Ahsoka. So,
I want to see her reaction to Luke telling her about Vader's last moments, that he was able to get through to him, and that he did have some good with him, and it did come to the fore before he died.
Knowing what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are doing with Star Wars now, giving us non-canon legends, all this other stuff, and making it official Star Wars canon, they're going to give us some form of that. Filoni's going to sit there like, John, let's do this, and John's like, fuck it, let's go.
It's a relationship between Ahsoka and Luke it seems like something that I hadn't even thought of before, but now that the possibility is there, not a romantic relationship, mind you, I'm talking about a friendship.
Right.
That would be very weird for her.
Species. I mean, she's a long-lived species anyway.
That would probably be very weird for her. But still, just Luke getting her perspective as someone who left the Jedi Order, as someone who saw the faults and the failings of the Order, and Luke getting a chance to learn from those mistakes from her seems like it would be very important. And of course, we see him in this episode repeating those mistakes. God damn, Luke, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, no, like one after the other, making those exact same. But see, this is the problem. This is a problem with the core belief of the Jedi of that era and the teachings of the Jedi of that era. It is a core issue with the Jedi Order at that point. Like, I mean, that's literally why I said the Jedi of the Republic are basically fucking Scientology of today. Because, I mean, it's almost exactly the same. They're taking children because they have special gifts. Then they go and teach them in the ways of the Force. And in that same stealing of children, they go, you have to eschew love and all these emotional attachments and all this brotherhood stuff
that people need.
And then at the same time, while not necessarily making it a teaching, replacing all those emotional attachments with the same stuff, but from the religion itself. So the brotherhood of your fellow Jedi and all that kind of stuff, and love for your fellow Jedi. And and at the same time, they're literally the negotiators of the Republic at that time. Yeah, no, they have some immunity from scrutiny. In fact, they have immunity from scrutiny so much so that they have to have a former member of the Jedi Order go and secretly make an army with a code in them just to fucking kill switch the Jedi Order.
That was Palpatine. That was all Palpatine.
So Palpatine was actually a Jedi?
No, Palpatine was manipulating the Republic and the Jedi to set up the Clone Wars as a vector for him to gain power, to create the Empire.
No, he did that with the Trade Federation, period.
He started it with the Trade Federation, but then he got elected to the Chancellorship. He also won Count Dooku after he left the Jedi to his side.
If I remember correctly, Palpatine was the Padawan of the guy who created the Clone Army. Because the guy who created the Clone Army was a former Jedi who left fed up with the Jedi.
The Sifo Dyas was but Sifo Dyas wasn't Darth Plagueis.
Okay.
Sifo Dyas was manipulated by Palpatine to go to Kamino and create the clone army.
Either way, the Jedi have some strikingly similar hallmarks to Scientology.
Let's get back on track. This is where we go way more off. So,
basic rundown of this episode. Mandalorian in the previous episode, or was it in this one?
Which,
yeah, he goes to Luke's, where Luke is. He wants to see Grogu. He meets R2 and Ahsoka. He gives her the chainmail shirt, the Beskar chainmail that he made for Grogu, that he had made for Grogu, right before he got kicked out of.
Which they never showed in the last episode, but they hinted at.
Well, they showed the rings that were being created.
Again, they hinted at. He had little rings made. Doesn't necessarily say what they are.
And then he leaves after the urging of Ahsoka, telling him that if Grogu sees him, it'll make him harder to stay. So he leaves, and Luke does some. You see some training stuff with Luke, mirroring what he did with Yoda. He tells Grogu about yoga. Wow.
Fan wank.
Anyway, finally he sits down with Grogu, shows him the chainmail, but also shows him Yoda's lightsaber, telling him that he has to choose between the lightsaber and the chainmail. That if he chooses the lightsaber, he stays with the Order and becomes a great Jedi. If he chooses the armor, he goes back to the Mandalorian and he can't be a Jedi anymore. What the hell, Luke? What the hell?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's a mean motherfucker.
He's a dumbass.
Just like the Jedi.
Yeah.
The only smart Jedi is the one Jedi who's not a fucking Jedi anymore. Hi, Ahsoka.
Hi, Ahsoka. And I got another hydrate. Hi, Leah.
She just did it to me, too. I'm like, I'm out of water. Well, while Ross is drinking, I'll give my thoughts on the episode.
Yes, please, Greg.
I loved Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2. Had a little bit of a, sprinkling in there of other characters. I did love the title was very, very apt. I loved it from beginning to end. They would get Cobb Vanth coming up to the Pikes, shooting a few of them and giving the smart one, if you will. Like, you can go tell your bosses you're not running this anymore. And then he does what somebody like him would do. He's like, instead of taking the spice and selling it, kicks it over. I'm just like, I don't want this.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
What happened? Hold on.
Twitch hasn't been able to hear anybody for the last 47 minutes.
On your Twitch?
Because I had it on mute and didn't notice.
Oh. Wah, wah.
Hey, look, isn't this still being recorded to YouTube? Well, it's still being recorded to YouTube. YouTube will be able to hear. People can go and watch on YouTube. Don't freak out, Ross.
I'm not freaking out. I'm just pissed at myself.
Yeah.
You're freaking out, Ross.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Just... So I'll continue then with Boba Fett.
Yeah, please continue, Greg.
It's all right when things go wrong.
So Cobb Vanth has quickly become one of my favorite side characters of the show. I'm a huge Timothy the Elephant fan anyway. But the show continuing on, I did like the homage to Luke and Grogu training to very much Luke and Yoda training. You see where he was carrying Yoda on his back, well, he's carrying Grogu on his back, but only this time, he's showing Grogu the ropes versus the other way around.
The roles are reversed.
Yes. And I can appreciate the way Luke is teaching him, like, he lifts the one frog to go and eat it, but then Luke is like, okay, this is what you can do, and lifts all the frogs. I did squeal when we finally see Ahsoka and Luke sharing the scene together. We got... Hold on. Leia just said that she can't... Sorry. Mention, I still can't hear you. She can't hear me in your stream.
Oh. I double-clicked it, so it muted again.
The interesting thing is when your stream started off, I could hear you, so I thought it was fine.
Well, you can hear me, The microphone
Audio's
audio and the desktop audio are separate channels.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Same in my
that would
OBS.
do it.
That's why, like, the first time I did this, my desktop audio had to be on and it was off. So yeah, I know what Ross is going through.
Well, that would do it.
Times like this, I wish I still drank.
You gave it up for a good reason. You have a kid.
Yes.
So
You don't want the kid getting into the drink.
No. Love you too, Leah.
So the episode was, again, for a penultimate episode was good. I squealed when Ahsoka and Luke got it. And when Ahsoka says, "You're very much like your father," it's like, oh, don't do this to us. It's like, ow. So it was a well-rounded episode. I know people are like, oh, there's more Mandalorian. It's like, it's called the Book of Boba Fett. So we're going through the chapters. But this does get us Boba Fett in for about 2 minutes or so. We're going over the plan. It's like, we have Chrysanthemum and we have Din, but we need more muscle. And Din's like, I can help you with that. And his brand spanking new, gorgeous 454 big block with a supercharger, Naboo Starfighter, goes out and flies to Mos Pelgo, now known as Freetown.
Before you do that, we still have the mention of the giant fucking Jawa army that's going to save the day in the last episode.
You mean the giant fucking Jawa army that has the
dragon
skull?
head? Yeah, on its fucking sandcrawler, tied up like it's tied to a pickup truck. Yeah.
They're flaunting that like they took it out, and it was the Tuskens and the Mos Pelgo. That was great though. I saw when he flew by there, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like that's the Jawas. The Jawas are actually cool now.
The Jawas have always been cool.
They flying in, asking Cobb Vanth for help, and Cobb's like, "Yeah, sure, we'll give you a hand," basically, and tells his deputy. The second he flies off, though, the title of the episode comes into play, and we see from the desert comes a stranger, and that stranger is no stranger to any of us, but none other than Cad fucking Bane coming in and giving Timothy Oliphant his first lost duel in his career. Seeing Cad Bane in live action is just absolutely amazing now with what they're doing with Star Wars. So it looked, I'll agree, Ross said it earlier, it did look a little odd, but it's the original voice still. It's still the same actor.
It's because you're trying to live action or alien race that basically doesn't have a chin on a character that is a human and has a chin.
Right. And I can appreciate them though, the way they made it. It did look good. It just looked different, again, like translating CGI to live action, but
and within 24 hours again, the fan base did a better job.
Okay, son, I'm glad you brought that up. Speaking of fan base doing better, for all of you who remember season 2 Mandalorian ending with Luke having the bad CGI face, the person who did that on YouTube was hired by Lucasfilm and is the one who did Luke's CGI in this season of Boba Fett. It is the same guy. So
now we have the now this season we have the opposite problem. The face looks fine, but the body seems off in compared to the face.
It was when Luke is running, you can clearly tell something's off there. But I love Cad Bane's introduction. This is just hyping up for an amazing season finale or series finale. As far as I know, Boba Fett is a one and done show. But this is going to set up. This has already set up Ahsoka season 1. This is setting up season 3 Mandalorian. And this is probably in some fashion gonna lead. It's still Tatooine. The Obi-Wan Kenobi series does come out in May, as far as what we're seeing. I'm looking forward to it. I love what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are doing. Disney made a good decision in letting these two handle it from here on out, because what they're doing with Star Wars is gold. So let them do it. So I'm looking forward to next week's episode for sure.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Son.
So I don't understand why this episode isn't getting more shit. We had another flashback this episode. 2 whole slow fucking minutes of Jedi being murdered.
Oh, Order 66.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, why is nobody pissed off at this flashback?
Because it's Grogu.
It's Grogu. Luke was helping with his memory. So
It's literally 2 minutes of slow murder. Is this what
Yeah.
you were expecting out of Boba Fett? Is that why everybody's pissed off? Were you expecting slow murder the entire fucking season?
I mean, we've been seeing slow healing with him in the back to tank every episode.
I mean, I'll be completely honest. Yeah, no, that's just, I mean, what we saw was 2 minutes of slow ass mutilation, like what Chrysanthemum did in about 2.5 minutes of fast live action, but with like 5 different people. Yeah, no, that whole thing irritated me. It's like, here, let me unlock this memory for you. Oh boy, here we go. Where's all the haters talking about the flashbacks or shit? Nowhere to be found. What the fuck? You guys have some fucking consistency. If you're pissed off that there are so many fucking flashbacks and you get another flashback and you're not ranting about that, well, guess what? That's not the thing you're pissed off about.
We did overlook one thing. I think Son might have gotten to. I'm sorry, but we did overlook one massive thing near the end of the episode. Jennifer, what is her name? The casino gets blown up by the Pikes.
Yeah. The Pikes are out there doing their dirty work.
The Pikes start shit.
Of course, yeah, and it's actually, I honestly think it's going to cause Mos Pelgos, no, not Pelgos, Espa to get involved. The Lords of Mos Espa to get involved.
Well, that was in Mos Espa.
No, what she's saying, because all the lords were...
Remember, Fett brought the lords together to say, you just hang low and let me fight this war. Now that they're going out and attacking the businesses that the other lords control, the lords might get involved now.
Except that was one of Fett's businesses.
It was, but she catered to everybody. She's that hostess, like, I don't care who you are.
She was literally the Bank of Switzerland when it came to Mos Espa.
Yes, but she's under the protection of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
The others aren't.
I think, even though I think Son's right, them blowing that up, though, may draw the other Daimos in to help Boba Fett now. Because, like, they just went in and straight up blew her up. And then not only that, Mos Pelgo is not under the protection of Boba Fett. And they just went in and shot the marshal. So it's like, they're shooting themselves in the foot here.
I shot the sheriff, but I murdered the deputy.
Yeah, no, they 007 to the sheriff.
Fucking Ross, goddamn it! Why did I think of that? It was clicking in my head. Like, why does it say it? Damn it! Oh my god!
See, that's the thing. The bartender. So if you guys remember, the bartender himself was basically the silent voice of the community.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the sheriff would make a pronouncement, it was the bar guy who was like, nobody's going to listen to you because I won't listen to you. You know, if I'm not going to listen to you, nobody else is going to listen to you. Like, so it's kind of basically he's kind of, wow, okay, that's stupid, but kind of accurate. He's basically the fucking Guinan of this series. Yeah, like if he doesn't agree with it, nobody else in town is going to go along with that. But like Cobb literally goes, you really think this shit is going to stop at the borders of the cities? I mean, I don't necessarily, Cobb didn't say anything about what he just did. That might help, but like, yeah, no, getting shot definitely ensures that the town is going to get involved. Especially considering that he's not dead. He's just been 007, aka shot in the shoulder.
I know, and Son's right. That's like, you win it. It's like, and he went in with the purpose to kill him. But like I said, or as I was going to point out, like the whole draw situation. If it had just been Bane on Van, Van would have shot Bane down dead. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm
Probably,
Team
yeah.
Elephant on this one.
Absolutely.
But the
Absolutely.
deputy distracted him.
I'll be completely honest. If I was Cobb, I would let the guy get shot. It would not have cared. I would not have cared. The more pressing threat is the guy in front of me, because if he shoots me dead, there's nobody fucking left. If he shoots me and then shoots and kills the deputy, like, it's over. Period. It's fucking over. I don't care if he murders the deputy. The deputy's kind of an asshole anyway. Even I admit that.
He's just new.
Asshole.
He's new. He's not. It's not that he's an asshole. He's just very green.
You know, I mean, come on. You knew what he was saying. He's new. He doesn't understand all the nuances, and he's kind of an asshole.
It doesn't help that his probably first week on the job, he has one of the most he has the top murderous bounty hunter in the Outer Rim walk into their town. It doesn't help that he was prepared for somebody to be like, "Hey, don't steal that," to, "Hey, I'm going to shoot you because I don't care."
But yeah, no, that situation was not going to go any other way. See, I don't even know who this guy is. The other guy.
Yeah, nobody's going to.
Like, no, the Western guy.
Cad Bane from Bad Batch and Rebels.
I've, again, never watched those two series. I've seen pictures of the guy. Don't know who the hell he is.
He's a bounty hunter. But he's an incredibly lethal bounty hunter.
I figured he was a bounty hunter.
The guy is crafty enough that he was able to steal a Hutt prisoner from the Jedi.
How do you steal a fat man from skinny people?
Fat woman. She was Jabba's sister.
Shit. Okay. Well, there you go.
That's how good he is.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. See, now here's the thing.
He actually debuted at the same time as Ahsoka, I believe.
So here's the thing, Greg. I figured you would squeal seeing the training droid again. Especially since they mixed new and old audio for it. They had new audio for it moving around, but they also had the old shh.
Yeah.
And you could hear the difference in the audio. Even though they tried to cover it, you could hear the difference in the audio. But I guess that's one way to train a little frog in how to jump.
Leah says, "Oh, he did. He just won't admit it."
Okay, well, there you go.
If I did, okay, great. I don't remember squealing. I mean, I was happy about it. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, no, like there's a reason. There's a reason they go, "This was the marvelous misadventures of Luke and Grogu," because that was the majority of this fucking episode. And it was so full of fan wank.
Exactly.
And before that, I was actually fucking horrified. I only found out because of the Geek Easy that those are actually separate droids entirely. They're called ant droids. No, those aren't ant droids. Those are centipede fucking gonk droids. I was horrified.
That made a bed for Mando so he could lay down.
And we're building the fucking stone brick Jedi temple. It's like, just really? You've got these gonk droids centipeded together and in like an innumerable amount building this thing for you.
Without any kind of mortar.
Dude.
Just laying stones on top of each other.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, has been, let's be honest, is an ancient practice. Like, and it works to an extent. It works. Why aren't you doing it yourself, Luke?
Yeah, seriously.
You are the fucking master. Why are you letting droids do the work?
Well, that's I think we've covered just about everything for this episode.
This episode did give me speculation for season 3 of The Mandalorian, though.
Oh yeah?
You think?
Yeah. I mean, okay, so like I said this several weeks ago. All of this shit seems to be a setup for Boba Fett bankrolling the retaking of Mandalore. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. So because Din literally can't go back to his culvert without bathing himself in whatever the hell waters under Mandalore. Right? So this seems like a setup for the retaking of Mandalore. Then we get the whole fight with him and the other guy and the armorer training his ass, which Ross, I called that. She's not fucking dead.
Oh, I agreed with you. I absolutely agreed with you.
But so she's training them, and he's talking about it getting heavier and heavier, and she's like, it's fighting against you and all this kind of stuff. Then we conveniently get an entire fucking episode of Luke training Grogu, and Grogu will then now decide to go back to the Mandalorian, who, in a moment of desperation, when they're on Mandalore later on and fighting that fucking mytha beast that is supposed to come out of all of that stuff to herald the new king of Mandalore, like in that lady's fucking prophecy, you're going to get a Grogu who then takes up the Darksaber, not with his hands, but with the Force, and helps slay the beast.
Hail Grogu, new king of Mandalore.
Grogu, we'll see. That's my original speculation. So others have built their own speculation off of that, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Dave Filoni and whoever the hell is doing this are trying to finally end the speculation. And that is that they're going to make the leap that Yoda, Yaddle, Grogu, and any of the others of that species who exist, their ancient homeworld has always been Mandalore. They are the Mandalorians.
That's a stretch. I could see it possibly if that's the route they want to go, but that's a stretch.
You got to remember that. You got to remember, like, the original Mandalorian race is like thousands of years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've said that several times through Boba Fett and Mandalorian.
You have a case in which Yoda could have been around at that time.
Well, okay, she quipped on that. The armor does go, the Jedi have been around for millennia. We've been around for over 10,000 years. She threw that number in there. So the Mandalorian culture, Mandalores have been around for much, much longer than the Jedi. She made that point.
Yeah, so think about that. You have a species who we basically have no idea what their homeworld is, and their view of the world is 100% diametrically opposed to that of the Mandalorians. It's entirely possible that before the Mandalorians started really big adopting foundlings and stuff into their culture to bolster their numbers, you had a civil war on Mandalore, and all the Yoda types left and went and did Jedi things because they didn't believe in the whole Mandalore thing.
Well, not all Mandalorians are like Din.
No. I'm not talking about like the idea itself that the Mandalorians as a species, the actual race, the Mandalorians, were bringing in foundlings and stuff to bolster their numbers. That's a lore that I read some time ago. That's like the origins of the Mandalorians. There would be a civil war on whether or not to do that. I mean, there'd be a civil war on whether or not to be like just the Mandalorians in the first place. You could entirely be looking at a Vulcan Romulan situation.
That would be interesting. We'll see.
So yeah, I honestly think this. I honestly think that's what's going to happen. But because Grogu is Grogu, and Din is Din, they're going to let Boba Fett sit on the throne. Because Boba Fett will be there riding a Rancor.
Boba Fett will ride a Rancor before next episode. He's got to ride the damn Rancor. Don't tease us with that and not have it.
He's gonna. You act like he can only ride in one and not both.
Yeah, this is a one-off series. Boba Fett's gonna be making cameos from here on out. I hear. Okay, actually, Son just gave me this. With Boba Fett, the season finale or series finale, whatever. This episode, when they're going to war with the Pikes, he's riding the Rancor into battle.
Of course,
I'm calling it. He's riding the Rancor into the battle. They're gonna see Din. They're gonna see Chrysanthemum, some of the Mos Pelgo folk, and other people behind him. And then they're gonna hear a roar, and then we're gonna see the Rancor just come around the corner of a building.
No, he's not gonna come around the corner of a building. You're gonna hear that massive fucking roar as they're fighting in the inner streets down below, and then like fucking Gandalf, Boba Fett's gonna be on one of the ridges on that Rancor, and then just come down the fucking thing.
Flanked by Jawas.
There's Din Djarin stands alone, and then you have Not Alone, and then Hero.
Let's move on.
And then, of course, as the dust is starting to settle, you see the X-wing fighter come in as Luke is delivering Grogu.
I'm sorry, Leia corrected me. Boba Fett will majestically ride the Rancor into battle.
Let's move on. We had some interesting developments in the gaming sphere this week. The first of which is that Sony announced that it is buying Bungie.
Yep.
I expected this. I called this last week.
Well, it's a lot of people are saying that this is in response to Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard, but
no, this is in response to Phil Spencer saying "Stay in your lane." See, this is actually twofold in response. This is Sony going, "Fuck you, Phil Spencer. We can acquire shit too." But not only did they do this, they spent an extra $1 billion of what they could have acquired Bungie for. They spent an extra $1 billion to ensure the development team stayed at Bungie. So you're literally talking about $1 billion that went to developers directly.
Yeah, but if we're running off price tags, Microsoft is just like, oh, $3 billion.
No, but
they just dropped $70 billion.
That's not the point here. The point was Sony was making the statement, we can start gobbling people up too. And I'm pretty sure we're going to hear before the end of the year that Ubisoft has also been acquired. Whether it's by Microsoft, I don't think it's going to be by Microsoft, but it could be by Microsoft. I'm more inclined to believe that Sony's going to reach out to come to that deal.
Ubisoft was fighting off a hostile takeover by I forget who, but it was a big story going back several years.
I think it was EA, wasn't it?
Might have. No, it wasn't EA. Damn it! Hang on, let me look it up.
Okay, but in between that, but the second point, Sony.
Vivendi. That's a name we haven't heard in a long time.
Sony has been wanting their own version of a Halo shooter for years. This is why Sony worked in tandem with CCP Games from Iceland for the exclusive shooter Dust 514 for the PlayStation. And which only lasted 2 or 3 years before that fell apart. Well, now they're in the curious position to acquire the Halo company, period. Why wouldn't you?
Well, again, this is Sony buying this is it's a knee-jerk reaction to Microsoft's purchase. That's what it is in the black and white, because Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard. They're gonna handle all the legal troubles. So Sony's like,
On
shit,
the-
we got to jump on this too.
On the surface, it definitely looks that way. But here's the other thing. Destiny 2 is the second biggest MMO in existence.
And it's now pulled off of all Xbox platforms off of Game Pass because of the sale. So Sony's trying to hurt Microsoft because the reason they pulled off
it wasn't. It's not pulled off of Game Pass. The DLC access has been pulled off of Game Pass,
which means Destiny will follow. They will grow.
No. Sony has said that they are going to leave it as a multi-platform game.
Absolutely.
Because why would you say no to all that revenue?
Why would you say no to your competitors' revenue?
Well, same reason Microsoft isn't making Call of Duty a Windows exclusive.
You don't say no to your competitors' revenue.
Yeah,
that's what that was. This was a knee-jerk reaction to their competitor. Like, okay, we'll buy.
It was not knee-jerk.
No, it's a slap in the face more than it is a knee-jerk. We will buy shit too, but here's the plan. Here's the thing. Yeah, sure, they spent $3.4 billion to acquire Bungie. They spent $1 billion of that to keep the development and voice acting talent at Bungie.
Okay, and I mean that can be considered the same thing in Microsoft too. So they spent the extra money to keep everybody on board. That shouldn't be something amazing. That should be something okay. So it's in the purchase price.
Okay, so you're not seeing this. This is Sony doing the Japanese thing of thinking long term.
Yes, I get that.
But
it's just from my perspective as a gamer. These companies at this point, they're just consolidating. That's why now the FEC is rushing to change its regulations. Microsoft did it first. Sony's like, oh, they're going to change the regulations, so they went ahead and bought Bungie. So before these regulations change, they're trying to consolidate.
This process started well before the Microsoft's announcement to buy Activision Blizzard came out.
This is true.
That's what we're trying to say. This process wasn't started in reaction to anything. This was Sony looking to make it to buy a prestige studio.
They wanted to buy the Halo company. Sony has wanted a Halo franchise for themselves for years.
Not only that,
they were in the unique position to buy the Halo company. So they went out to get it.
Sony also doesn't have an anchor franchise like Microsoft does. Microsoft has a ton of anchor franchises now.
True.
Sony has Final Fantasy.
Sony has so this is the other thing. This is the other thing that people forget. Everybody, like you, Greg, people keep saying this is a knee-jerk response. Dude, Sony literally spent studio buying money to acquire one man. Hideo fucking Kojima.
That's right.
Sony spent an entire studio amounts purchasing worth of money to acquire one fucking man.
And then gave him all the money to start his own studio.
Gave him the money to start a fucking studio and make a fucking game.
And we got Death Stranding from that. Fucking masterpiece.
It's an amazing game. It's got issues here and there, but it's an amazing game.
I say it's a masterpiece. And the people I know who I've convinced to play it have also said it's a masterpiece.
The biggest thing in all of this is, Microsoft didn't start this knee-jerk. Sony's been on this path for a while. The removal from Game Pass happened well before Microsoft even made the statement of Activision being a sinking ship. Like, we were told that the Destiny expansions were leaving Xbox Game Pass in October, I believe, when they were talking about the expansion coming out in January of this year, and then they pushed it back to February. So that deal was going down even then. It had to have been. Those talks had to have been started at that point. And sure, it might not be finalized until next year, but those talks had to have been started. Then, in the infinite idiocy that is Phil Spencer putting his foot in his mouth, thinking he's saying the right thing, after acquiring Activision Blizzard, says Nintendo and Sony are going to stay in their lane. And Sony's like, bitch, look at the shit we got going on right now. Here's a press release of what we've been doing.
And you know what's funny? Nintendo got asked, "What are you guys going to do about this?" Nintendo's like, "Nothing." They don't. Nintendo flat out said in so many words, "We don't need to do anything. We're doing just fine with the Switch outselling the PS5 and the Series X."
Exactly.
Nintendo's like, "We don't need to do shit."
Why do we have to do anything? We've always been a fucking industry leader, even when people mock us.
So it's like, yeah, Nintendo's like, no, we're good.
Well, in other video game news, we finally have confirmation that GTA 6 is coming.
And this is news why? We all knew it was?
Yes, but now it's official.
Yeah, like they're in active development now with GTA 6. It wasn't like, oh, they're going to make it. Like, are they going to make Metroid Prime 4? And we're still waiting.
In the latest developer blog about the GTA franchise, in addition to talking about all of the changes upcoming to GTA Online and Red Dead, Rockstar confirmed that the next installment of the GTA franchise is well underway. So,
yeah, that's like saying, of our two major properties, the next game and the other property is being worked on. It's like Bethesda going, it's been 12 years. We should let you guys know that we're doing the next Elder Scrolls game. That's literally what this announcement is.
Yeah.
You know they're making it already.
Well, how about something a bit more tangible then? This week on Paramount Plus released the trailer for the upcoming Halo series. Have you guys watched it?
Yes, and I am absolutely in love. I'm personally in love with the series the way it's looking from the trailer.
How about you, son?
I didn't watch the trailer. No.
Okay. So Greg and I watched it, and well, I liked it. My first impression was glee. Of course. I was excited about the prospect. I liked the design of pretty much everything. I was interested in how the story is deviating through this adaptation. I was a little taken aback by the fleshy Cortana and the apparently human-looking member of the Covenants. But
yeah, I noticed that.
And then on repeated viewings, I noticed the 2011 Chevy Tahoe in the background at one point.
It was a walk-up about his body kit.
There were some very strange anachronistic elements in some of the outdoor shots, the ground shots, that is. But I'm interested. I'm curious to see where they go. I'm willing to overlook some of the weird niggly things, and I want to see what they do.
I'm interested myself. Regrettably, I haven't played Halo since I played Halo 3. I've been wanting to get back into it, but it's like I got sucked into the Gears of War hole at the same time of Halo, and I just went Gears of War from there. But having played up to Halo 3 and seeing the series where it's at, I have actually seen one of the doesn't get enough credit, Forward Unto Dawn. That set me aside for that they need to do live action Halo, and this is kind of holding up to it. Like, I liked Forward Unto Dawn, that story, so now we're getting a live action video game adaptation series.
Forward Unto Dawn was a weird artifact of the final days of the YouTube MCMs.
Yes.
Machinima had just been bought by Warner Brothers, and they wanted to do something big, so they were funneling money into that company to make all sorts of crazy shit. And for a while, it was great.
Yeah,
we got Forward Unto Dawn. We got a bunch of really cool live action stuff. We got a bunch of really, really cool animation. We got the rise of a bunch of different creators, and then it imploded.
We miss you, Machinima.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Steven Sempervivo can go fuck himself. Hopefully he's in jail. He got caught up in the Varsity Blues bust and is in jail right now.
God damn it. I meant Miss should have been like we're like Activision. We don't care about who's at top. We miss the people who made it work.
Oh, those people are still around.
Yeah,
They're just not doing what they used to do anymore.
So, having seen Fortnite to Dawn, I'm excited for it. I hope those are just minor editing mistakes with the Tahoe in the background for the trailer. We'll see, but it's definitely going to be. It's not that they're trying with the success of Witcher, even though Witcher's on the books, but Witcher's also a very successful video game franchise, and now video game franchise movies doing very well with Sonic, Detective Pikachu. So it's like, are we finally moving into the era now where we get decent video game adaptations into live action? And I'd like to think yes, Witcher, Detective Pikachu again,
Mortal Kombat
definitely was
Sonic the
amazing.
Hedgehog.
Yeah.
So there it is. So Halo is the next one, and I think Halo's probably going to set a few records. Like the first episode when it airs, I wouldn't be surprised if that like shatters records for premiere of an episode or something like that, because there's going to be millions of people wanting to see that episode, whether they hate it or love it.
I don't think the Tahoe is a mistake. I think it's intentional product placement meant to look like a mistake. Which is fucking genius, but it's like Game of Thrones level of you left a coffee cup here.
That's what I was worried about.
But it's product placement. I mean, like, holy shit, we're far beyond the days of whatever the hell that company is being pissed off that the California Raisins was a park bench with a homeless guy sleeping in front of it.
Well, so long as it's not, center frame like Mark Wahlberg in Transformers colliding with a Bud Light truck and taking a swig in front of the driver angrily like it was the driver's fault.
That was great, though.
No, this is for the meticulous people wanting to comb over every square inch of the stuff. And then their viral sharing of it makes people go, huh, okay, cool. That's weird. I did want to mention, though, there are two other big gaming news things this week. One that actually happened quite a while ago, and you probably didn't hear of.
What was that?
So, Take-Two Interactive recently decided to acquire the entirety of the company of Zynga. Farmville, that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, they acquired Zynga in its totality.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, that was part of several of the things that I've been watching over the Sony the Sony and Microsoft acquisition. No, there's like a bunch of companies are now buying and gobbling each other up at this point. Jeff Keighley himself mentioned that there were more and bigger announcements in the gaming world coming this year. Half of that, I believe, and half of that is Jeff Keighley being Jeff Keighley.
He's a hype man.
There's a reason he's called the Dorito Pope.
And what was the second one?
The second thing is that, well, this is the hilarious thing. Google is in such a state right now that they're looking to sell everything about the Stadia. Not just the rights to the console, the rights to its manufacturer, its databases, all of that shit. They're trying to get rid of it. I wonder why. It wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that half the United States still doesn't have at least coaxial internet, does it? No, it couldn't be that.
Well, hot on the heels of seeing our Strange New World poster last week, this week we got a poster for The Orville: New Horizons. And guess what?
I have to mention about this poster. This poster was announced at like a fan day thing that happened for Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently nobody fucking told me about the bigger news that was revealed in this whole presser. The fact that one of the main cast for Strange New Worlds is actually related to Khan.
Her name is Noonien Singh.
Like, I didn't even know who the cast fucking was.
They announced the cast months ago.
When they announced the cast, I drilled in on that and made a big deal out of it.
Ross made a huge deal out of that, and then I jumped in. We were all like excited about that. Like, what is she gonna do?
Okay, like then I find out that the guy who's on the other side of this, I don't remember which guy. I was watching Trek Culture, and they mentioned someone. But the guy from Trek Culture was like, this is a big fucking deal because this guy was the one working with Abrams at the time going, no, 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 no. This guy is not Khan. It's Harrison. His name is Harrison.
Robert Orci?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Was it Orci? I think
Yeah,
that sounds like, yeah.
Because Orci's working on this show. It seems like Orci is really trying to make sure everybody knows this is a con.
Oh, that was such a poorly conceived marketing strategy.
Don't believe your lying eyes.
The reason Ross brought that up, folks, though, is because the teaser we got with some unfortunate news, but the teaser we did get was that the Orville Season 3, Seth MacFarlane announced due to some COVID precautions that post-production has hit a snag and they will be releasing in June versus March of this year. However, he did not leave us hanging. We got a nice little 4-minute teaser of some gorgeous shots from the show that's upcoming, that the war with the Kalon is going strong. We see Union, Mocklin, and Krill ships fighting the Kalon through what seems to be another solar system that is not ours, but ships getting destroyed left and right. We see Union fighters, Krill fighters, and we get a sweeping shot of seeing the young Marcus running through the ship to get back to his quarters. And some amazing, and this is what happens when you get something like Seth MacFarlane, some massive CGI budget money. You get this kind of stuff. But as Marcus gets to his quarters, we see Isaac come up behind him, and basically what it seems to be a dream sequence, his face goes basically full on evil hell monster. And then we get the new title sequence with one omission from the title sequence. If anybody caught that, if you watched the trailer, Ross, did you happen to catch it?
No, I didn't.
No? So the title sequence goes through. You have Seth MacFarlane, Captain Ed Mercer, Adrian Palicki, Commander Grayson, Mark Jackson, Penny Johnson. There was one name that unfortunately was omitted, and it may ring back to what he said in an interview. Scott Grimes' name was not in this title sequence. Neither was Norm Macdonald, unfortunately. That probably because he has passed away, but he did record those lines for Yaphet. But Scott Grimes' name was not in the new title sequence for season 3.
Scott Grimes is the pilot, right?
Yes, he is Lieutenant Malloy, the best pilot in the
Union.
It was on the reason that's kind of a weird situation is because he was interviewed with Adrian Palicki when they're around the time they're getting divorced, but they had both come out and said like, "Oh, season 3 is the final season." But then that's when the producers and Seth MacFarlane came out and said, "No, it's up to the fans if there will be more Orville." It's not. They're like, season 3 is not the last season unless the fans don't want it. So I'm one of those fans. Don't leave us hanging at season 3. Give us more. The title sequence is gorgeous. It's still, of course, a love letter to Trek intros from TNG, DS9, and Voyager, very much. So I'm looking forward to it. I always have been. I'm the resident Orville lover, disco hater of our Super Geek podcast. But I mean, I think Ross, when you get a chance to check it out, son, if you want to, I mean, it's a gorgeous little 4-minute teaser. It sucks it's being pushed back more. Justin has said that, they don't want to compete with Strange New Worlds and Picard. I'm like, it may be the case, maybe not. But, I mean, we are going to get... Sci-fi is in a great position this year with Star Trek and Orville and Star Wars. Orville being the new kid on the block, but with Star Wars pumping out content, Star Trek, and now Orville, sci-fi fans are living in a great year right now for that kind of content.
So I already have a speculation of how the war ends because it'll probably end by episode 3.
Okay.
Okay.
The we're going to worship the second in command race is going to hop back out with their thousands of years advanced ships and just end the Kalon. Oh, what? What? Does it sound plausible?
Probably.
You forgot that race existed? You forgot that she could literally just go back to wherever the hell that was, shoot out a message like, we need help. You guys advanced thousands of fucking years in the span of like a month. Could you help us? These robots are taking over.
Except by now they've probably ascended to energy beings and are no longer concerned with the events around mortals.
It was what, 700 years passed for every 30 days on our side. So yeah, they're.
It's like it could be. I mean, they could be literally living ships at that point.
But I mean, I would hope this is like they carry the Kalon War like DS9 carried the Dominion War. Make it a season-long arc with Planet of the Week, if you will. I think they're going to do that. Especially for our fans of the show possibly, but Jon Favreau is an executive producer of the show. He's double dipping in both Disney and this. So it's like whatever he touches is turning to gold. He started the MCU. He started the new Star Wars universe with Mandalorian and Boba Fett and Ahsoka. And he helped Seth MacFarlane start Orville. So it's like, I'm willing to give Jon Favreau the crown of nerdom right now for giving us some great stuff.
All right. Well, let's move into our final main topic of the night, and that is the Lord of the Rings animated or live-action series. The Rings of Power has dropped not one, not two, not three, but 17 character posters featuring hands.
Yes, there we go. Thank you, Ross.
Some of which are holding rings, others are not. What's that?
Hans Gruber.
Boo.
Everyone can be a banger like that dwarf.
Yep, we've got a dwarf right here. We see the beard, we see the hammer, and we see several rings. Then we've got another dwarven individual. Elf. Probably elf. Probably elf.
Probably elf again. That's
human peasants.
Yeah.
Human. Probably human. Definitely human.
Yep.
Rohirrim.
Yes.
Peasants, human, another human, maybe halfling, people, lots of people.
Pregnant lady.
Flower. Book. Gondor, probably.
I want to say that looks like Gondor, yeah.
That one's definitely Numenorian.
Yep, that's gonna be it. The Numenorian's gonna be a big.
And then the most telling of all.
Who is that? I can't tell who that is.
So Brenda says that the picture has frozen on Facebook. I'm not sure how we fixed that.
Okay then. Thank you, Facebook.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to fix that. I apologize.
Me either, other than restarting the broadcast.
Oof.
Yeah, that would be an issue. Then again, Facebook and Discord have been having issues this week.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's so meta of Facebook.
It's working for me. Everything looks like it should.
Let me see. Let me go here. Let me play it on mine.
Yep, it's all working over there as far as I can tell.
I'll try refreshing, Brendan, see if that fixes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing on my phone.
Yeah, no. So, this all takes place before, like, the Lord of the Rings, right?
This is taking place in the Second Age. It's going to detail Sauron's rise to power and the Numenorians.
Okay.
So the Silmarillion.
Yes.
This is the prequel to Lord of the Rings.
I had something very unfortunate pointed out to me.
What's
Brenda
that?
said we're good.
So this is all prequel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they've cast like a bunch of black people in like hobbit positions. And
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
in the Lord of the Rings, there aren't any like outright black people in the Shire.
No, there are not, no.
And it has a lot of people speculating that there might be some kind of major issue that goes on.
People, I know where Sun's coming from in this one. I read something similar. That people are going to turn this into an ethnic issue because there were no black hobbits or black dwarves in the
No, no,
first.
no. The what I've been reading, and I'm like talking about the uh. I will call it the unfortunate woke thing because this is not like a revenge of the woke thing or anything. This is a people who are on that side of the left who think they're doing the right thing. There's been like all of this speculation that the writers at Amazon are going to write that the rise of Sauron draws those people to, like the black hobbits and the black dwarves and all that stuff to his cause, saying something or another to draw them to him and to his armies.
Sauron, or not Sauron, Tolkien used images of light and dark to delineate between good and evil quite a bit. So
yeah, no, I know, I completely understand that. But you're quite literally saying all the black people are going to go serve the bad guy.
I hope that's not what happens, but we'll see. These posters do look pretty badass, though.
Yeah, I love the posters. I love that they all showed their hands. Some of them, from what I've seen, they're all missing their rings. Even Sauron is not wearing his one ring.
There are quite a few rings on a few of them, but none of them have the rings of power yet.
Right.
Well, so they're not forged yet.
Right.
We're in Silmarillion territory at this point.
Right, but they are going to get forged. So it's like, and also a lot of questions coming up though for fans of the series though is that with this taking place Second Age, we actually still have characters that we know and love. Galadriel's around, Elrond, Gandalf, Sauron. These are all
the Elf King, Legolas's dad.
Damn it. Lee Pace is what is his? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look it up. Screw it. Shoot me. I don't care.
But hey, you know what I'm most interested in seeing? Sauron's fair form.
Yes.
I want to.
Thranduil, yes.
Yeah.
I want to see Galadriel smack down that other elf. Can I just have a single strand of your hair? No, get the hell out.
Yeah.
And this is going to be Galadriel at the height of her power, also.
I really hope they do a good job with this.
Before we do move on, this is the most expensive show in history. The first season alone is going to cost a whopping $465 million. The Avatar movies have not hit that yet.
And a final bit of news for tonight. Hocus Pocus 2 has wrapped filming.
Hooray!
Announced in a tweet by Doug Jones himself.
Let's hope it doesn't turn into a shit show like just about a whole bunch of other shit that has recently.
I sure hope.
Doug Jones put out that announcement in full Billy makeup.
Well, let's wrap things up tonight with our traditional final segment. What are we watching? Son, let's lead on with you.
Well, the watch of Aftermath, the Scientology documentary series with Leia Remini continues. We got a break this week, so I almost started to watch another episode. But we got a break sort of this week with them like basically stopping everything and going, okay, before we go any further, like a bunch of the viewers, and this is from like 2017, a bunch of the viewers who've been writing in want us to explain the bridge. That is basically explaining what is it? Is it 12 steps for AA? Basically, Scientology's bridge is the 12 steps of AA, but it's Scientology shit, right? And that's $3-4 million that you, not even as a celebrity, just you as common peasantry are going to be spending to climb Scientology. Yeah, that's an issue. Yeah. So there was that. Then with the recent issues that befell the shoujo, and is kind of the reason that I unsubscribed to Silver Veil and Iron Mouse and a whole bunch of others, I actually kind of found a replacement for several of them, which I posted in Ross's server, but he hasn't said shit about yet.
I haven't been able to watch them yet, son.
Oh, you gotta, they're clips. They're not like full fucking episodes. They're clips.
And I have a child to take care of.
You should watch them. It is 100%. It will 100% replace both Nanners and Iron Mouse for you.
Well, I've never watched Nanners to begin with.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Nanners like at all, but like this Shy Lily sounds like Nanners sort of, but is like all the energy of Iron Mouse. So yeah, no, like absolutely fell in love with her, and I'm like, yeah, no, this is my replacement for V Shoujo.
In between Absolute Unit and this, you're refilling the ranks pretty quick, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Absolute Unit was me filling a void in other people's holes.
Oh, they just did a reaction to a bunch of lewd art that people had made of them.
Mm-hmm.
It was gold.
If you're gonna say it right, say it right. Her name is Tonkatsu Sinclair.
My name is Tonkatsu Sinclair, and I'm gonna react to all the degenerate lewds you people have been putting up with me.
Yeah, which is what happened.
Yeah, it was so good. The sass. Oh my god, the sass.
Oh, Ross, did you hear though?
Hmm?
V Shoujo is trying to rebrand its talent to iLadies.
Okay.
You don't have anything else to say about that?
Not really, no.
You don't have a question to ask me? Like, why iLadies?
Okay, son.
Why iLadies?
Because iLadies nuts on your face.
There it is.
And that's our show, folks.
Greg, what did you watch this week?
Thank you for asking, Ross. Appreciate that. So, just the usual rookie with Nathan Fillion. But I am continuing to watch Peacemaker on HBO Max with John Cena. It is turning out to be a very interesting series. I will say this about Peacemaker: it's good. It's a good DC spinoff. I am enjoying it. It's one of those shows I recommend binging after it's been all released. Yeah, my Twitch chat's kind of going. They're laughing at Son's joke. But I will say so. Peacemaker had a very, I want to say, heartfelt ending to the last episode. This episode aired on Thursday. So Twitter blew up at the end of the episode when John Cena got to a piano. Peacemaker got to a piano and started playing, I believe, "Home Sweet Home" by The Cure. I forgot what band it was, but playing the piano. The question came about, like, was that John Cena playing the piano? Because you always wonder that if the actor's playing. Turns out John Cena is a very accomplished pianist. And James Gunn found this out because he put that in there for one specific reason. James Gunn was taking some time when they were filming Suicide Squad. His dog of 20-something years was going to die. So he wanted to go take a couple days to go be with his dog. While he's waiting for someone to pick him up at the hotel, the story goes, he's talking with John Cena at the bar. Cena finds out his dog is going to die. And Cena says, I'm sorry, and goes to the grand piano in this hotel and belts out a melody that James Gunn said made me cry. So John Cena can he's good. He can play the piano very well. So this was a good episode. I recommend people give it a watch, and I honestly think people will enjoy it. I did say this last week. If you watch the intro to Peacemaker, Alan Tudyk was the guinea pig for this dance. His wife was a choreographer, and because of COVID restrictions, she couldn't be there with them to do the dance. So Alan Tudyk was dancing on video, and they were watching him do the dance so they could mimic his movements. So thank you, Alan.
Dude is a gift to Hollywood.
Yes, he is.
As for me this week, I have binged the first 6 episodes of The Legend of Vox Machina, the animated series that broke Kickstarter records and covers more or less the first campaign of Critical Role. It's good. And it's so much fun. It's a weird thing because on the one hand, I'm watching it for the first time, but I'm also not watching it for the first time, as it's an adaptation of the live RPG campaign that was broadcast on Twitch, adapted for an animated series. The art style is very similar to Netflix's Castlevania. It's got a similar kind of action and gore to it, which is perfect, but it's also got that kind of off the cuff and weird comedy that you get from a D&D group. And it's moving forward at a rapid pace, and I'm really loving it. 6 episodes in, it's so much fun. I kind of wish I was experiencing it for the first time in the same sense as watching the campaign way back when, but I highly recommend it. If you like fantasy action, it's a good one.
And gore.
And gore, but yeah. Dude gets his hand and fingers just blown off, and it scatters everywhere. The axes cleaving skulls, and people getting strangled by vines, and yeah, all the kind of crazy stuff you'd expect. Oh, and doors. Many doors are just insurmountable.
I love my salsa with meat in it.
I'm not following. No. End the show before Suncrit. No.
Okay, so you've never heard the D&D term chunky salsa?
No.
Okay, so it's basically the rocks fall, party dies. That's chunky salsa. Like you're in a situation in which you will not survive. You are going to be obliterated. So like when a hand literally disintegrates, chunky salsa.
Okay.
That was not
because it's red and bloody.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, and hanging out with us tonight. We'll be back again next week for all of the big stories in the nerd sphere. And until then, we're happy to have you here. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend and a start to the rest of your week. And I've already said where we are, so how to find us, so I'm kind of out of sequence here. Son.
Remember, sweeties, you are loved and appreciated by just your being you, unless you're Randy Pitchford.
Justin, play us out.
Or Steven Sepravivo. And until next time, remember to live, to love, and to play every day. Let me see if I can find...
Ross failed at this last time, everybody's listening. Nope.
I'm sticking to it. I made the mistake and I'm owning it. This is how it's going out.
Look, works for me. Sounds very Zora-like.
I was going to say, sounds very elfish. So, because we just sort of looked at
We doing Florida Man tonight?
Yeah, I can stick around for Florida Man.
All right. Oh, it's on a loop.
Yeah, it's a loop. You can tell it's a loop. It's an audio loop.
Well, that concludes our regular episode of The Real SuperGeeks. Stay tuned for the wacky and wild news of Florida and beyond. It's The Real SuperGeeks Florida Man Post Show.
Alrighty, guys. I'm out of here. Have a great rest of the night.
Bye, Greg.
Good night, Greg.
See you guys next week. Bye.
So, while I'm bringing up Reddit's, son, how about you kick us off?
Florida man steals car, abandons it on train tracks, car launched into house.
What?
Oh, yeah, obviously. The train hits the car going at, 50, 60 miles an hour? The car goes flying and flies into a house.
Yikes.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they caught the thief of the car. No, they did. Port St. Lucie man arrested. Yep. Okay. After he abandoned a stolen car on railroad tracks and a oncoming train launched the car into a house. Yep.
Yikes. Okay, let's see. What have I got here? Let's see. Nope, and depressing. Come on, Florida man. You're supposed to be fun, not. Ugh.
I've already got story 2 then, if you need.
Oh, go for it.
Florida man attacked by tiger after putting arm into enclosure at zoo.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Florida man. Okay, there's the vehicle one. You know what? Maybe. Okay, it's on hot, not new. So there we go. And there's the vehicle. There it is, the vehicle again. A 26-year-old Florida woman claims she was told to cover up her cleavage at a theme park.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, leave people alone, folks. Come on. That's bewildering. Not amusing at all. Florida man arrested after throwing propane tank at ex-wife's house. You know they don't explode, right?
Not without a bunch of punishment first.
Yeah.
It's not video games. You can't just one shot and the propane tank will explode. Unless you're a really good fucking shot.
Florida man. Okay, this one's actually funny. Florida man dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow wanted for stealing Amazon packages.
Oh, that makes sense.
Let me get in the details of this one. Oh, he's not even dressed up as Jack Sparrow well.
Oh, God.
It looks like he accidentally dressed as Captain Sparrow. You know, let me bring up the video, the image.
I guess I gotta see this, huh?
There he is.
Okay, he just looks like Johnny Depp kept the dreads. That's it.
A true porch pirate. Police in Florida are searching for this joker dressed as a pirate as he steals packages from the front doors of homes. Oh, boy. All right, you got one?
Florida man gets probation for importing and selling fake Viagra from China.
What was it really?
I don't know. I have to open the link.
Oh, fake Viagra from China.
Yeah. It doesn't say right off the bat what it is.
Well, while you're looking.
Oh, okay. It says, okay, so they were basically 2 large packages of blue capsules. An invoice for the barrels claims that the capsules contained shiitake mushroom extract. So he was basically selling shiitake mushrooms as Viagra.
Mushroom powder.
Well, I mean, that's one way to get a tasty head, right?
Doesn't do any good if it's already ground up.
That's better than the other head being ground up.
Ooh. Ooh.
You're welcome for that image.
Oh, this one's from the West Volusia Beacon. D-Land police. Person in Sonic the Hedgehog mask robs a bank.
I saw that one, yeah. I didn't think it was Florida, though. Okay.
Florida Credit Union Assistant Vice President of Branch Operations Brian Leithman said no one was hurt and there were no damage to the building or windows and no money was stolen during the attempted armed robbery. Everyone is safe, nothing was taken, and local police are on it. On Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022, at approximately 16:23 hours, officers of the DeLand Police Department were dispatched to the Florida Credit Union in reference to an armed robbery in progress. When officers arrived on scene, contact was made with witnesses who stated that a subject, believed to be a male by the tone of their voice, wearing a Sonic the Hedgehog mask, entered the building, displaying a hammer and demanding money from the teller. While demanding cash from the teller, the suspect then struck the teller's window with the hammer as he continued to make his demands. After being confronted by a bank employee, the suspect fled the location on foot towards the west side of the building, and then north on Woodland Boulevard. The suspect was last observed wearing a black hoodie, black pants, carrying a black or gray backpack or duffel bag, and a mask resembling Sonic the Hedgehog. He didn't even have a gun, just a hammer.
Yeah, that's what fear does. It makes people do stupid shit it makes people do stupid shit like handing over the money to a dude with a fucking hammer.
With a Halloween mask on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Let's see, that's terrible.
Oh no. Oh,
wow, that sounds good.
You fucking idiot.
Okay, let's hear it.
Florida man breaks into Target and steals flowers for his mom.
On the one hand, aw. On the other, you dumbass.
Exactly. Christ. And this year is only going to get a hell of a lot worse. It's only February, and so much shit has happened in January already.
Here's a good one from the Tampa Bay Times. Judge rules in favor of St. Petersburg man who refused to pay 2020 election bet.
Well, you made a bet.
Hey, we got a surprise Justin.
If he's by himself, then I get why only.
Hold on a second.
What?
He can take all of it because it's very difficult to load all of the green and get back in a reasonable time.
Let's just mute that for a second.
Figured I would treat you all to a surprise battle.
Okay.
Okay. Are you fighting some Thargoids?
Yes.
Is that what's going on?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, we are Star Citizen.
Oh, Star Citizen. Okay.
I'm surprised to see actual functioning gameplay.
No.
It's had functioning gameplay. It's just really, really buggy at times.
It's actually doing pretty good.
All right. Apparently, the cost of the wager was $100. And let's see. However, after Biden was declared winner, Haynes refused to pay up, so Costa decided to sue in December of 2022, asking $100 from the bet plus $250 in court fees and $300 in interest.
Wow. Well, yeah, gotta pay that money.
So after a judge, they had initially settled out of court, but the payment had not been made, so they took him back to court, and the judge said, no, you're not paying on a bet.
Okay. So I've got one.
All right, let's hear it.
Florida man, magnet fishing with grandson, reels in two sniper rifles.
Something went boom.
Did our cargo just explode?
Oh, no.
They had an explosion and then no.
Ugh. Did we run?
Oh, here we go. Florida man investigates the labor shortage by applying to 60 entry-level jobs. Gets one interview.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Search of Florida man's rectum yields MDMA and cocaine. When asked if he had anything else hidden in him, he began to cry and said he did not, and said he had a bowel issue.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure what MDMA is, but cocaine in the rectum, yeah, that'll get absorbed in your bloodstream real quick.
Oh, MDMA is the medical term for ecstasy.
Ah.
Cocaine and eggs he had.
Wow, he must have been feeling really good.
Well, obviously not. He was
Yeah.
crying and saying he couldn't take a shit.
There's the Target story. The Magnet Fisher. Oh my god. Oh, this is peak Florida man right here. Florida man stops to charge ankle monitor while committing crime.
I mean, that's part of the course, isn't it? Well, I mean, that's one way to get the ankle monitor removed, right?
Yeah.
Crime, send it back to
No
jail.
more positive, no more ankle monitor. Negative, you're in jail.
Well, see, that's the thing. You go to jail for long enough, that's literally the only life you know, while the world changes rapidly outside.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point of the Shawshank Redemption. So Florida man with machete robs bank and throws the cash out of the window of the SUV.
Just robbed a bank and bailed the cash, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, weird. Especially since you're still going to be arrested for robbing a bank.
Yeah. Florida man, DUI suspects, estimates that he'd consumed 35 bottles of Corona beer, which is barely beer. Still, 35 bottles of that is a lot.
I mean, that's no different than drinking in the Middle Ages.
There's your machete story.
Florida man gives ticket to legally parked ambulance and threatens to tow vehicle. What? Is this a cop?
Wow, that's some peak power hungry shit right there.
Miami Beach parking officer tickets an ambulance and threatens to tow the vehicle while it was parked legally. Yeah.
He's gonna face a little trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Florida man shoots out his own window during a road rage video. Or in a road rage video. Apparently, dude got a water bottle thrown at his car and thought it was a gunshot, so he decided to return fire. Missed entirely and shattered his own window.
Well, obviously, you're firing from inside your own vehicle. You're going to shatter that window.
And emptied a full clip.
That guy didn't go to gun safety training.
No, he did not. And he's definitely going to get charged with reckless endangerment, at least.
Yeah.
Illegal discharge of a weapon. Probably a few more things.
It's not going to be first-degree murder, but it's intentional homicide.
Yeah, but he didn't hit anybody, so he didn't injure anybody. So,
Intent to homicide,
yeah,
though.
Yeah.
Intent to murder.
I don't know what motivates her, said the police spokesman after Florida woman was arrested following multiple televised appearances as a sign language interpreter where she signed gibberish.
I think that honestly shows the lack of security for whoever the hell whoever the hell she was spokespersoning for.
Yeah, let me get the details there. But Tampa Bay, Florida, hearing impaired people turning into the news conference about the arrest of a suspect killer got a stupid ad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did get a stupid ad.
Well,
from someone who was speaking absolute fucking nonsense.
A message of gibberish from an ASL interpreter as Tampa Police Chief Brian Dungan announced the arrest of Howell Donaldson Wednesday night. Interpreter Darylyn Roberts was there beside him making signs that made no sense. She sat up there and waved her arms like she was signing Jingle Bells. Said Rachel Setabrino, who is deaf and teaches American Sign Language at the University of South Florida. Among the things Roberts signed, according to Setabrino, was the following: 51 hours ago, 0/12/22, murder 3 minutes in 14 weeks ago in Old Murder 45-55000, plea 10, arrest Murder Bush 3, age 24.
Wait, no, we have the name of our new rock band.
Which one?
Murder Bush.
Murder Bush. Burning Murder Bush.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. We're an indie folk band with a metal flavor. In fact, the chief was providing a timeline of the 4 shootings and described how his agency had received some 5,000 tips for arresting the 24-year-old subject. Let's see. So Tampa Police Department are very embarrassed at that they let it happen. They're acknowledging that they let it happen. They're taking responsibility for it. The woman's been fired, of course. Fake it till you make it doesn't always apply in this, especially in this case.
It got her a job. It just also got her fired once people realized she was lying.
Yeah. Let's see. There's the bank robber tossing the money.
Florida man's official job is to, quote unquote, harass birds at Tampa Airport. Sometimes uses trained hawk, sometimes shotgun.
Okay.
Now, here's the interesting part of this story. I started reading this story thinking it was one of the guy arrested because he believes his job is to harass birds. No, he legit is hired by the Tampa International Airport to literally stave off birds from the runway and shit. Like, that is a legit job. The funny part is his hawk, he talks about literally just chucking the hawk out the window of his vehicle. Here's a quote. Quote, "I toss her, sort of like a football."
Okay.
Dude, that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, that's pretty badass.
Ooh. Oh my god, this is a good one. It'll probably be my last one for tonight. Okay. Florida man wins trip to space. Gives it to his roommate because he exceeds the weight limit.
That's sad.
It's sad, but
there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. That's just sad.
Yeah.
There's no other issue there. That's just sad.
You got any last ones for the night?
I mean, I could do the wire ones.
I know what you're talking to. Do it.
Okay, I'll scroll back up to it. Naked Florida man drove with wires on his penis.
Ouch. Florida man. Or should I? Florida man. Oh.
South Florida man was caught naked driving slowly through a neighborhood with children while electrical wires protruded from his penis. So he was sounding electrical wire.
Oh. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I hope he used lube to get it in there.
I sure hope so.
Otherwise, he's going to have one hell of a rash that will always burn when he pees.
Yep. Yes, he will. Well, and on that rather disturbing note.
No. On that rather shocking conclusion.
That will be the end of our Florida Man segment for tonight. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Hope you have a fantastic weekend and a good start to your week. We'll see you guys next time. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
And clear.
Cool.